Welcome to another episode of the Softwarepreneur Show. My name is Pamela Dale, and today we have a treat. We have a fellow Canadian. Her name is Rebecca Cramer, and I'm excited to talk with her today. Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Pamela. I'm super excited to be here.
Fantastic. So tell us just a little bit about you.
Sure, absolutely. So obviously, my name is Rebecca Cramer. So I am a co-founder with my fabulous hubby. We run Jump Contact. So it's a 24/7 call answering and lead conversion service. So we call back your leads.
Excellent. And you're passionate about follow-up, and you have kind of made that your business.
Yes, exactly. It's what we do. So I've always been in sales, love sales, passionate about sales. And now we have a team of 25 that helps our clients follow up, helps our clients get those leads converted. And I heard someone say this, was it yesterday? It doesn't matter if you're a good closer. It matters if you are good at following up, because the chances of someone closing on a call, it's very slim. So you need that follow-up. You absolutely need that follow-up.
I think that's the line that I love the most from your website, was that, because I think a lot of people shy away from sales. And if they could adopt maybe a different mindset around it, or even just that little bit of knowledge that if I can just follow up, maybe I could convert. Lead costs are through the roof, right?
Exactly. That's the thing. You don't have to be good at closing, because the ratios, the percentages, you have to be good at following up. And that just means being persistent and creative, and, having different ways of doing it.
So you train your people on Grant Cardone's method. Tell us a little bit about that.
So our team trains on Cardone University. Actually, I train on Cardone University as well. And we do 4 segments of training every day. And really, all it is we're just reinforcing the same things that we already know, reminding ourselves of, you should be agreeing with clients, handling their objections, different ways to really manage that call and manage that opportunity, so that you can get that deal. Because it doesn't happen on the first try, right?
Right. The numbers, you could just Google them for follow up, and the percentage of people that don't follow up versus how many times, and etc. What is it in your experience you find the biggest challenge with follow up for people?
I should correct myself. It's consistency. Consistency is the biggest challenge. And it's the biggest challenge, I think, for most people in their life, right? It's just a hard thing to be consistent with things, especially if it's not your thing or you don't know how to do it. The percentage is that 80% of all conversions happen between the 8th and 12th contact. Can you imagine?
Astronomical, isn't it?
Exactly. And even greater if it's about the visibility online. And so it's super, super important that you are consistent and that you are following up. And following up consistently doesn't just mean, hi, it's Rebecca from Jump Contact, I'm just calling to follow up. No, you have to be creative. Today it's very snowy out here today, and I sent a bunch of Floridian leads that I'm trying to pursue a picture of the snow, So I'm not asking for a deal in that text message. I'm, reminding them of myself. And certainly there's opportunity that you're going to feed in between those friendly messages. But it is absolutely important for you to stay top of mind or continue to follow up.
Sometimes people think that follow up is chasing. And I love your example of being creative. What are some other really creative ways that you've used to follow up with people?
Absolutely. So to comment on the chasing, like what you just said about chasing, I know that people say that, and I could totally understand how they would say that. But if you're so convinced that your service is going to impact people, if you're so convinced that your product is something that someone else needs, why wouldn't you be persistent? Right. Why wouldn't you follow up?
So there's a mindset shift there for sure.
It absolutely is. And probably, okay, so I said consistency, but now I'm like, consistency and mindset go hand in hand. If you think about, if you're trying to get back to the gym after you haven't been there in a while, yes, consistency, but it's that mindset that prepares you for it. And okay, so ideas for follow-up. So obviously I just told you about the sending the snow picture. So what I usually do, we went to a really big networking event last week. And what I do at these networking events, and I think I did this with you, is whenever I meet someone, I take a selfie and I actually send it to them. I ask them for their cell phone number. And I send them that selfie with my name and information as soon as I meet them. Because what that does is it gives you an excuse to ask for their cell phone number.
Right.
First of all, but then it also allows them to remember who you are, maybe where you were when you, because of the background, rather than just a business card.
Right.
And then after, so whether that happened or didn't happen, you're going to be following up whenever you connect with a lead. So that means obviously trying to get them to a meeting or trying to get them to purchase your product, but staying top of mind. So sending emails, posting on social media, following them on social media, telling them that you have an idea for their business, giving them an opportunity maybe to join something free that you're putting on. Like I just sent a message to a few people yesterday and earlier this week. We do a Clubhouse room. I know Clubhouse is like something of the past, but we have a Clubhouse room where we do sales role play with people. And so people can join us on that free value. So it's an easy invite because I'm not asking for anything.
Right.
So some ideas would definitely be to shuffle it up, make it interesting, and make sure that you're hitting them from all different. Look at their stories. People look at who sees their stories.
Exactly. So I get so many people in my inbox all the time, like this and that, and I'm just like, I can tell you didn't even look me up. You didn't even spend 5 minutes. Some of them can't get my name right. So there's a little bit of effort, and I think the extra that it takes today with leads, cost, time is right. The attention span is like nil. If we took just a little bit more time with each lead, I think it would be so powerful. Is that something that you're having trouble talking to people about? Are people there yet? Where's the marketplace at? You're talking to a lot of people.
I am talking to a lot of people, as myself following up for our business, but also our agents calling people, trying to get them booked in when they're filling things. A lead that fills out a form online, lots of people forget. I forget when I fill out forms online.
Absolutely.
So the other thing that is super important is speed to the lead. So if you're able to connect with them, and like I said, and I left out phone calls for some reason. I talked about videos and emails because phone calls is just a normal thing for me. But it's super important that you be able to connect with that person and that you be persistent connecting. If you think about yourself individually, how busy you are, how much you have going on, just because someone reaches out to you one time and you don't respond, that doesn't mean that you're not interested. That doesn't mean that you're right. It means that you're just busy. It means that it's not on your mind, but maybe it is on your mind. And that person just needs to remind you a little bit more, maybe until you have time, so that you can be interested in their services.
Absolutely. I always really appreciate when someone follows up with me because I'm usually back to back, right? I have very full days. And if I've reached out, it's something I'm interested in. And sometimes it's just timing that's kind of slid off the plate for the minute, but it will come back. Or help me understand why that would be important to come back. Like your service matters. Like you said, if people don't follow up because it's almost like they don't even believe in their own service, that it's valuable. So they won't come back. And that's a challenge was a challenge for me, and it's a challenge with me talking to business owners. The other thing, most of my people are either selling SaaS or they want to sell SaaS or they're doing affiliates or they're a service provider. So sometimes there's a thought there that with software, they would need to follow up. It would need to be, I know it's astonishing. It's astonishing to me too.
You need to always stay top of mind. That is what follow-up is. So I understand that maybe for software, you're not going to be making calls, but maybe you are. You know how surprised someone is to get a phone call from a software company? Absolutely.
I saw you just checked out you filled out the form and answer. It would be so powerful, but people won't take the time.
Exactly. But you know what? You know, the other cool thing that happens when you call a lead, as soon as they submit that form, is their perception is that you are responsive. And if someone's perception is that you're responsive and different, nobody makes phone calls. I mean, people do, but rarely, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So the perception is that when I reach out to you, you're going to get back to me. Wow. Maybe I'm going to be more likely to actually make the purchase based on just that alone.
Right. You're a real person. It's hard to trust online today, right? So
exactly.
It's incredibly
exactly. And then for SaaS, for anyone really, being visible and being top of mind is important when it comes to follow up. It's not just about phone calls and texts and emails. You do need to have a social presence. You do need to having a social presence and being consistent. Also, it makes people believe that you're legit, that you're here for the long run, that you're not just, someone who's going to show up once every 2.5 months with a post for your birthday or something,
Right. Or just offer sometimes as well. It's nice. I notice people when they like my social media or if they comment on my social media. So something that I think would be really valuable would be to comment on a social media post, jump into an inbox here or there, not aggressively, but even just if somebody I think likes some of my content because of what I put out is important to me, and I'm hoping it's important to others, they resonate with that. But I rarely find anyone will do that.
It's true. It's true. I think because we've become this virtual world that people do assume that, well, they see me, they know of me, I don't need to reconnect. But if you can be in front of someone more frequently, they're going to be reminded more frequently. Even if they didn't believe that they needed the service in the first place, maybe they're legitimately not ready to use your service, to sign up for your SaaS. Maybe they had to prepare something first, but you staying in front of them, you being able to remind them of what you do and the problems that you solve, maybe with a little personality in there too.
Right.
So that they can connect with you, and so that it's not just, hi, it's Rebecca calling. I'm calling to leave a voice, calling to follow up, calling back. Throw your personality in there. That's why people want to buy from you. Maybe it's not why people want to buy from you, but that can be part of it. And why not differentiate yourself?
I think it's really important today because especially in the software game, like one piece of software can look like the next and then the next. And there's got to be a reason that you would choose someone. And I think it's their values and their personality and kind of what they stand for. Because when you get into bed with someone, but if I'm not even familiar with your personality, I can't even tell you apart. It's very challenging. But it's also a little bit like I had somebody challenge me the other day, come up with your personality. You've got this great personality. And I'm like, oh, just a minute. I've got to cover her up a little bit. Right. So sometimes it's like, but I know that the ones that are attracted to me will be the ones that are the best, right? So it's
Absolutely.
scary sometimes though, right?
It is. It is scary because it's being vulnerable.
Yes.
And being vulnerable, it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable not just for I mean, I don't know anyone who's like really super comfortable with being vulnerable and making it an everyday thing. But what happens is that people actually get to connect with you, and they believe that they are connecting with you, especially, if in your communication, you're connecting just with them. So although when you're making a one-to-one phone call, it's assumed that that's a one-to-one connection. Emails, you can create those and make them look like they're a one-to-one connection. Text messages, you can do the same. And of course, when you're on social media, if you're talking, instead of, hey guys, I'm talking to one person. Right. I'm talking to that friend that I know, that I could tell anything, and just let your personality shine.
So I know you're working with Grant, and for you, 10xing your business and full out doing hard things, you said this is one of those hard things, right? That consistency and following up and carrying you into your business. What is the best advice you would have for someone that's really challenged with that?
The best advice I would have is to take action, because that is what stops people from moving forward. Take action, take imperfect action, take massive action. Nothing has to be perfect. I get it. I'm a perfectionist. So it is really hard to not have something be perfect before you do it, or before you, but if you think about how much that could potentially be stifling your activity, do it imperfectly. If you do it imperfectly once, it will be easier next time. It will be easier the next time. And you know what? Sometimes the imperfect stuff gets the most attention, honestly.
Right.
You put up a video that accidentally pauses or freezes, and you get lots of attention. You spell incorrectly and you get lots of attention on social media. Allowing yourself to have that opportunity to just take action will allow you to close more deals and get the attention that you need. So do it imperfectly. Going live is actually a really great way to work out those bugs. Because what happens when you go live, especially if you're a perfectionist,
right?
There's nothing that you can do. You're live in front of everyone. And the really cool thing that happens is it's still perfect, because you went live. That was what you did, and it's perfect anyways. So I recommend go live, get uncomfortable, and do it consistently. Put it in your calendar. The same way you would phone calls. You're calling them every day until they tell you not to, or however frequently you want to call them. But you need to take massive action for sure.
I have a coach, Steve Chandler, I still call him my coach because I read just about everything he does. And he says, take something out of your future and do it now.
Yes.
So we have this list, and we'll do that tomorrow and the next day. And some days it causes so much stress and anxiety. So just pull it forward and do it now. And for me, it has to be in line with what is it that I really want for my life. So I'm naturally going to just, hang out and eat tacos all day long, but I have goals and dreams and responsibilities, right? So I got to make myself uncomfortable. So I think having a really clear vision of what this thing is, and then really believe that it'll work, or at least, yes. And I was laughing the other day, was reading something about perfectionism, and they're like, I bet you those perfectionists are not that perfectionist about cleaning their toilet, right? Do you know what I mean? So we pull it in where we're living this life that's really uncomfortable, these places that are uncomfortable, because we're really not a perfectionist in a lot of things, but we'll throw that. I love that. I think that phrase I've got, we carry this backpack around of our baggage. And some days it stays back there. And some days very perfectly, we'll just whip something out of it and whip it and throw it on the road in front of us. right? And this perfectionism is one that I think we can really, it's a crutch. It's something that it's just, it feels.
It's, I think if we talk about going live, if we talk about making phone calls, there is this reluctance because of failure.
Yes.
The possibility of failure. What if I do this and it doesn't work?
Right.
What if I pick up the phone and call that person and they hang up on me, or they get mad? Or what if I go live and I screw up, or the guest doesn't show, or what? But if you don't take that action, if you don't do that thing, number one, you're never going to be able to know if it worked or not.
Right.
But number two, you're never going to get better. You're never going to improve. You're never going to have that opportunity for that end result that you're looking for. And so the only way to get over something and get better at something and see if it actually works is to do it.
I have so many women that are specifically a big group of women that build websites and do coding and things like that. And they so struggle around sales. And I say to them often, because they're maybe in my age group, a little younger, a little older. I was like, do you really want to sit there at that time? You know what I'm talking about, right? And go, well, I'm so glad I was scared to death. I'm so glad I didn't do it. I'm like, I know that that's not going to be what we're saying. And I'll use my husband or my family or somebody as an example and go, they've got cancer and they need $100,000, but I could have helped them. I could help them, but I'm going to sit here and wallow in my own crap and my own bullshit for a while longer. That doesn't wash with me. I can't look anybody that I love in the eye and say, I could have helped you, but I was weak. I could have helped you, but I was too full of myself. I could have helped you, but my ego was more important than you. And that I can't deal with. I know that I can't deal with that. And it's scary sometimes, this stuff that you and I are doing, right? And 10Xing is like the amount of, it's not even activity that you have to do at that level. It's the amount of separation, I think, that I have to have with me and my story that I hang on to pretty tight is the scary part, because then what am I going to do? I'm going to have to actually be responsible for myself. I'm going to have to be responsible for the people in my life. And that's really challenging to do. I think as we get older, we get in these ruts and we got this way of thinking. And I need to constantly be around people like you who are like a mirror and go, like, I know what you do on a daily basis. I can't sit here and go, I can't do that. Well, of course I can, right? You can do it, I can do it kind of idea.
Absolutely. And it's hard to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And I think it's a good point. We get into this comfort zone of, what I'm doing right now is fine. It's not fabulous, but it's not working. We get
trying to pay the bills.
Exactly. Into that rut of mediocrity.
Yes.
Of mediocrity. It definitely, it's easy to just be average. It's very easy to just be average. In fact, it's expected.
Right. Yeah, don't walk anybody's boat, right? Including my own. Yeah.
Exactly. So it does make people uncomfortable to do the things that are going to get you above average, that are going to get you to those goals, that are going to allow you to, just like you said, be there for your family, help your family, maybe leave a legacy.
Right. So tell me about the people that you work with. Who are your clients? I was surprised by it. So tell me.
Yeah. So we work with lots of different industries. Certainly we have been recently, we were at a SaaS event, great people, amazing people there, met lots of great agency owners. So we do work primarily with agency owners, service-based businesses. We do have some products. I believe we have a couple products as well, product-based businesses that we help with. But really, we're working with people who they are amazing. They know their product. They're really great at their product or their service, but it's just that middle part of follow up. I generated the lead. Now what? Okay, I'll call them one time. Or, you know, some of them don't even have an email newsletter. So they're straight up just not reminding people of themselves at all. So we help those businesses call their leads or answer the phone and actually get those leads booked into their calendar or, you know, transferred over to them.
Right. And how can people find you?
Well, people can find me on social media. People can also find Jump Contact on social media. On Instagram, I'm at Cramer Says.
Oh, that's cool.
At Cramer Says on most of the social media.
I'll link all those down below there. So does Nat as well.
Yeah.
Any last parting words for aspiring business owners or people that want to be more successful?
I would just say take action, do it imperfectly, take massive action, make mistakes. It's not failing. It's not failure. It's a learning opportunity. You don't fail, you learn.
I'd like to punch the person in the throat, whoever put that thought into wherever we learned it. Like, was it in school? Like this failure, this F that we get or something? Because there's no way that life can work that way without, that's where that hesitation comes in, because I've got to do it perfectly, but I can't get there if I don't do it. But I sat there for a long time too, thinking, oh yeah, this and that and everything else. And what I found is the path was always there once I stepped onto it. And I wanted it to appear ahead of time and it just never would. So it was about courage. It's a courageous journey that we're on.
Yeah. And I think as entrepreneurs, we just have this, we have this natural, I want to do it, but then because of what we've learned, probably growing up, probably it was school that taught us to fail. Right? That taught us that taking risks or making mistakes was a failure.
Not good. Yeah.
So you need to change your mindset. You need to change your failures into just learning opportunities and take action.
Yes. Adopt this entrepreneurial mindset and get into with people like Rebecca. So reach out to Rebecca online, and Jump Contact is a really great follow-up service. You'd even mentioned you had coaches, service providers, SaaS businesses. If you can't get to the follow-up, you've got to hire someone like Rebecca, because the cost of leads, the time, and then you just go back out and get working together as a team. You work great with people.
Exactly. And efficiency of your time. Is your time best spent trying to get someone on the call, or is your time best spent doing what you do best and letting someone else take that over? Even if it's not Jump Contact, you know, follow-up is something that is very challenging. And certainly I would recommend, if you can't do it yourself, get some help so that you can do the follow-up.
And just be honest with yourself that you may not actually be doing it. And it's great as an idea and a concept, but if you're not doing it, put some systems in place and then help.
Systems, automation mixed with a little personalization is the ideal way to do follow-up. Absolutely.
I think so too. And I love HighLevel for the automations and the follow-up and the pipelines, and I use them all. And if you've been following me for a while, you know how much I do that. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Yes, thank you.
It's great talking with you, and a fellow Canadian business owner that is going for it. And a woman, perfect.
It was great chatting with you, Pamela.
Thanks.